Welcome to the Growlers and Gremlins podcast, an alcoholic adventure in cryptids, paranormal, and the occult. Coming to you weekly from the heartland of America.
Welcome to Growlers and Gremlins. I am your favorite host, John, and with me on my right I have...
I'm Brian. I wasn't supposed to be here.
Brian was not supposed to be here today, but he's here. Brian was not supposed to be here, not because we told him not to be here.
I was supposed to be at work.
Yeah, he's supposed to be working, but he's not. And then across from me,
Jason, the analyst and actual favorite host.
And we have our guest this week, our first ever guest that isn't someone we've known for years and years.
Isaac, who's the actual favorite host.
Oh, we're going this route. We're fighting is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
All right, let's get the mic set up. We got fighting to do in the garage.
We're all going to do some fighting soon.
What?
At least Isaac and I have been talking about it.
We're going to do some fighting. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Based on my size, I'm going to stick with him. Personally.
We'll pair you two up. It'll be really fun to see.
Am I going to have to pick up Jason on my shoulders?
There's enough of a disparity between me and him, much less between me and you guys. Don't pitch me into the ground.
Oh God, what are we doing?
It's a long story.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hold
so our beer of the week this week.
2.0.
Yes. Our beer of the week this week is Einstök Ölgerð, which is an Icelandic toasted porter from a place that I can't pronounce in Iceland.
Oh, you have to try at least.
Yeah, try.
Surframlæður.
Surframlæður.
From, which I think is the name of the brewery, and it's from Akureyri, Iceland.
Akureyri.
Interesting thing, though, I just noticed on the can they put the coordinates.
Yes.
Did it?
Of their location, yeah.
Yeah, north
65 degrees north.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Degrees west. So, if you got a GPS, you can fly there now.
Boys doing that right now.
You can guide a missile to that location. Should it suit you.
North 65.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I can taste the Iceland.
It tastes like dragons.
Yeah. It's actually really good, though. Clear notes of toffee and dark chocolate.
That is very good.
Roasty and rich. Toasted and chocolate malts.
6% is not bad.
Says it has a sinister black color. What's sinister about that?
It's black.
I don't know what they're going for.
It's an ominous black color.
Ominous.
No, I need a glass to pour it into to see what it looks like.
It's actually really nice.
All right.
Yeah, we need to get the glasses out again sometime.
I googled them coordinates, and first thing that pops up, Einstök Brewery.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it says the map.
It shows on the map. What's there at that
There
location?
are no roads. It's just a point.
Iceland, not on Google Maps yet.
Not really, yeah. Speaking of, I actually want to go to Iceland at some point because it's actually pretty inexpensive to fly to Iceland from the US because, one, it's not really all that far, but also they're really trying to bring in tourism. So the flights to Iceland are actually fairly cheap.
Spirit Airlines to Iceland.
Here's the question, though. Beyond Einstök Brewery, what's there?
I want to pick up some rocks.
Gotcha. Rocks. Yes.
There's a set of stones in Iceland that are world famous.
Oh, so you're going to be a thief.
No, you go there and attempt to pick them up.
Oh.
There's like 3 of them.
Oh, it's like a Thor thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the stone. Well, the main stone is the Husafell stone. But there's like words for like if you can pick up this one, you're half Styrker. If you can pick up this other one, you're full Styrker. And it's like a test, try to pick up every stone. The heaviest stone's like 440 pounds or so. And they're just like boulders. But they're just, it's a world famous thing, It's
maybe I should try it.
I always wanted to try it. There's also a thing. There's stuff like this. There's some cool things that people don't even know about. You ever heard of the Dinnie Stones?
No.
So the Dinnie Stones are in Scotland. And it's 2 large stones that are not the same size and don't weigh the same amount. And they have iron rings attached to them. And there's a book. They record every person that has ever picked them up successfully. And so it's a big deal if you go there and you pick them up. And you get in the book forever. And recently. It was probably 2019 that he did it. But Brian Shaw, one of the strong men, he actually went there, picked him up, and then walked like 6 steps, which was like a world record. But it's pretty cool. One of them is like crazy heavy, and then the other one's like 200 pounds or so, and so it's like that balance of trying to carry them. It's very difficult.
Oh, you have to pick them up at the same time.
Yeah, when it was on Strongest Man in History, they were all attempting it together, and like when Eddie Hall did it, it like tore the skin on his hands because they're just so heavy, and the ring you have to grab is not very big.
Is it just like an iron?
It's very difficult. Yeah, it's just an old iron ring.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know. It should be fun to travel around and try these things.
Well, I'm going to say, if you're already in Iceland, I bet the flight from Iceland to Scotland isn't that much.
Exactly.
And then you might as well just go into Europe.
Yeah.
Then you can make your way to Eastern Europe.
Go to the Czech Republic, look at castles.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all that's there.
It's a lot of things to
When
do.
my sister went to Europe, it was only like $35 for a prop plane.
But it's like, why bother going to Europe when you already live here?
Because they have Dracula.
Yeah, but we're better.
I discussed this with my wife because she wanted to go places, and I told her like where's acceptable to go based on whether we're going to get stabbed or shot.
All of Eastern Europe blacked out.
I think the Czech Republic and like I want to say Sweden. There was like 2 places that we were like, these safe.
I've heard good things about Latvia, although it's very small.
Right.
I think Sweden has like grenade attacks now.
No.
Well, granted, this was a long time ago that we looked this up, so they might. But I know
I'd feel pretty safe going to Sweden, Finland, Norway, Denmark.
I feel like the Nordic.
Yeah, the Nordic
ones
countries
are generally nice, and
they're pretty low population.
The Czech Republic is where CZ Firearms.
Yeah,
is.
I got a brand.
Yeah,
I got an 805.
Love CZ Firearms.
I would love to go there.
And they have castles everywhere, which are cool.
Well, where we're going to be going this week is Kentucky.
Hey, Kentucky's pretty cool too.
Yeah,
they got bears and
I actually do like Kentucky.
Mostly bourbon.
I've been to Kentucky once because we went to
Are you kidding me? You've only been to Kentucky once?
I've left Indiana like twice in my life. Homie.
Whoa!
Oh, really?
It's been more than twice, but not a lot. I've been to Florida like twice. I've been to Chicago for. It's the only place that Navy. Boot camp graduation stuff is.
And why in Chicago?
Ask the military.
It really doesn't
I don't make
a lot
those
of
decisions.
I would think the Navy, like graduation things, it's like you got Annapolis,
practice
you
on
got
a lake
Norfolk.
to prepare them for the ocean.
Nope. Yep, you got to practice on a lake to prepare for the ocean. That is exactly it. Because my uncle, he's in the Navy, and my brother was in the Navy. So twice I went there for a Navy graduation bit, and then Florida.
I'm gonna say, don't they train at like the same boot camps that everybody else does?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe not the Marines one because I think they have their specific.
Yeah, but I think the graduations then
I didn't realize they split the graduations up. I always thought it was like everybody just had like this is the unit you were in for this, and you're gonna split off.
I'm gonna say no simply because like I know dudes have done like the Army and stuff like that in their boot camps and like the intensity that is, and I know like when my brother was in his like training, dude would straight up just not have them even exercise that day. He would just tell them, "You guys did a good job exercising today,"
and that's why the Navy was voted the fattest.
And then they went into the classroom. Like, don't get me wrong, like he was a submariner, so like
can't be big in submarines.
Don't really need a whole lot of, computer screens. So I get that, but I would assume they separate that so that you don't have the Marines who are dying from exercise looking over at the seamen who are just chilling.
That's why the Air Force is in a different building.
Right.
My cousin's recently out of Marine boot camp, and he was telling this story about there was this hike they all went on, and by the end of it, like half the guys were just crying just from exhaustion and pain.
At least they were walking still. It's like you can cry as long as you're moving.
Keep moving.
Like, just the exhaustion of it just breaks you. But so we're gonna go to Kentucky, August 21st, 1955, Kentucky.
Wow.
In a very small town, so small it's called a hamlet.
Ooh, fancy.
So the town of Kelly in Kentucky, there was a farm, and on this farm
There
They
was
had-
a pig?
Yeah. On this farm,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had 6 adults and 3 children that lived on this farm. It was a woman and all of her children. Her 2 oldest sons had wives, and their wives lived there. So that. And they also had some friends to visit. So we got 8 adults, 3 children. So 11 people staying on this farm at this time. And on this farm, it was extremely rural. It was only a 3-room house without running water, no telephone, no radio, no TV, and no books. So
What do you do?
Yeah, all right.
they work. It's a farm.
Up to the
Sounds
no
like an
books
Amish
bit.
paradise.
Up to the no books bit, I was like, okay, this just sounds like a pretty rural area.
But
But
that's the
like,
thing.
No Bible.
Pretty rural.
nothing.
Yeah, right,
We are
like-
completely.
You got to think pretty
removed.
rural for 1955.
yeah.
So, I mean, in 1955, having a TV was a luxury.
Well, yeah, but
And so,
Books. Books have been around a lot longer.
well, they may or may not have been literate.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
there are still
that's a
parts
good
of extremely rural Kentucky where literacy is like the lowest in the country.
and West Virginia,
In some of the,
and
in the
Pennsylvania,
Appalachians, there's actually some places where the majority
Man,
of
we
the
have it
population
good.
is illiterate.
yeah.
we have a
Good thing we're Indiana.
Yeah, we can read.
It's not a Kentucky thing. It's just
You're right, it's
I love
You
Kentucky.
painted it like it was a Kentucky thing, so we're going to stick with
Yeah.
that.
Way to go, John. Calling rural Kentucky a bunch of idiots.
Okay, so this was the Sutton family, and they had Billy Ray Taylor and his wife coming from Pennsylvania for a visit, and they were just longtime family friends. And that evening, Billy Ray Taylor saw a craft come down out of the sky. It was metallic, shiny, and floating down to the ground with like rainbow exhaust. It was just emitting like glowing rainbow all over off of it. So he ran inside and got his friend.
I thought you were going to say he got his gun.
That's next.
You don't need to be able to read to
He
shoot.
went and
You hear
got
me?
his friend who was the oldest of the Sutton sons. His name off the top of my head, I can't remember. Elmer Sutton.
Elmer, we
Okay.
got to go shoot the
So-
giant craft thing.
So Billy Ray goes to get Elmer and tells him what he saw. So they go out and they look, and then they see this being coming from the craft. And it's like silvery and metallic. No, don't. I need my notes. I'll show you that in a minute. But it has like metallic-y skin, and it's just radiating a glow. And it starts coming towards them. And this thing, in the police report, they gave a description, and there are police sketches of it. It was about 3 to 4 feet tall and had very wide set eyes and a very straight line mouth where the bottom lip overlapped the upper lip. So kind of
What?
underbitey.
Stop looking at me.
You're just describing Brian.
Okay, it had big ears. The points of the ears stuck out higher than the top of the head. There we go.
So it's just a
And
space gremlin.
There was like dark, like in the ears, as if it were like, you know, an animal. But it had this metallic skin, and they described the upper body as extremely muscular, with long arms that almost reached the ground, with long talons and webbed fingers, but then had little skinny, short stick legs.
It skipped leg.
And they said that, so out of all the people that witnessed this, they said that it did not have a nose, but one man insisted, which this one man was Billy Ray Taylor. Billy Ray Taylor insisted that it did have a nose, and its nose was a cone-like nose tapering to a point with a ball on the end of it. So
What?
I don't know how to describe it, but kind of like a pointy, like sort of is that movie with
Talking about the detective.
Roxanne, that movie with what's his name, Steve Martin,
Right.
a nose like that, but then like with a ball on it. And yeah,
So it's like a goblin, but with a Rudolph nose.
basically,
Gotcha. All right, cool.
but with like silvery skin.
And really
So-
long arms and
It
tiny
started
little
coming
baby
towards
legs.
them. So Billy Ray and Elmer ran inside, got a shotgun and a pistol, and they ran back out. They shot at it, it did a backflip and then ran away. And so they went back inside and they're like, okay, that was super weird, you know? And they're like, you know, it was just a thing, you know? So they tell everyone else about it inside. And then a little while later, this started around, I think, 7 or 8 o'clock, like in the evening. Then a little while later, they saw one looking in the window. So they shot at it.
From inside?
Yeah, through the window. They shot at it. It did a backflip and ran away. So
this just sounds like, you missed me.
What they weren't sure of was whether or not it was just impervious to bullets and that's how it reacted, or if it was backflipping so fast it was dodging bullets.
They hit it. That's why it backflips.
So, yeah, they don't know. Well, because the thing was they didn't walk. They would float just above the ground and like hover towards them. And so they don't know if, you know, they hit it in the head and that caused it to flip in its little floatiness, or if it was just backflipping to dodge bullets. They didn't know. So then after that, one of them went out to check to see if, you know, there was more out there. So he goes out on the porch. Everyone's standing behind him. And it's a covered porch. And as he steps out, they see a hand reach down from the awning and like try to grab him. So they pull him back inside real quick and somebody shot the roof. And so this goes on for hours. These things just keep popping up outside the windows. They're trying to get in the house, and these people are just blasting away, you know, like Danny DeVito. And he's like, so I pulled out my guns. I started blasting. But no one watches It's Always Sunny.
We all know what it is.
Okay. We know the meme.
Okay.
Yeah, we know. That's been a meme for like 2 years.
I've seen that episode, and it's hilarious.
I love that show so much. But so they're just blasting away at these things, and eventually, finally, it's like kind of calmed down and cleared. They haven't seen one in a little while, so they all run to the nearest police station, which is in Hopkinsville, which is nearby. This is also known as the Kelly Hopkinsville incident. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Yeah. Kelly Hopkinsville incident.
Kelly Hopkinsville incident.
That's
better. You just have to space it out and not have a stroke halfway through saying it.
Well, you know why this happened though? Was because the other day I was trying to describe this and I could not say the word incident.
Incident?
Yeah, for some reason I just couldn't say it the other day. I was having a stroke.
I want to try to say it, but I feel like I won't be able to
because now we're talking about it.
So we're just going to
be able to say it.
Hopkinsville incident.
So anyway, they run on foot to the nearest police station, which is like a couple miles away.
They didn't pack up into the truck and just all go like the Beverly Hillbillies?
I don't know that they really had that capability. I don't know how exactly Billy Ray Taylor and his wife got down there from Pennsylvania, but I don't imagine they had a real nice car or anything.
They clearly ran. That's what they're proficient.
They're using their Appalachian magic to cover long distances.
So anyway,
the power of moonshine compels you.
Underestimate these people, okay?
Well, that was another thing.
What, the moonshine?
We'll get there.
Prophecy?
So they went to the police station, all of them, all 8 kids and 3 children, and they all were just absolutely terrified. And that was in the police report that they said that these people seemed genuinely terrified. And they took down the reports from all these people. They all were pretty consistent. They did sketches based on the descriptions, and it was all consistent other than the argument about the nose. But
that's the important part.
Yeah.
You know, the nose.
So the police went to investigate. And also, this was the local police department, but the local police department also called the state police. And the state police also contacted military police because there was a military base nearby. So all of these people come out, they investigate, they see the shell casings all over the place. Somebody thought maybe these people have been drinking. They didn't find any alcohol in the house. Nobody in the house had a reputation for being an alcoholic or really being a drinker. And they couldn't find anything other than, you know, all these bullet holes and things like that in the house from them shooting. They found all the shell casings. So obviously they were shooting at something. Mm-hmm. And it all seemed to be calm. So they left and were like, well, I don't know what to do, you know?
Get the dogs.
And then they came back.
What, the aliens or the cops?
The aliens. So these people spent the rest of the night like just shooting out of their house, fighting these things off. And
fighting is a loose term.
Yeah, so
sounds like you were just shooting holes in your house.
All the local newspapers picked this up. It was running all over the place. Like, what was this? It became known as the Kentucky Goblins because the description's very goblin-like. And even as far as, it got out regionally quite a bit, to where a few weeks later in Evansville, Indiana, a group of high schoolers claimed to have seen 10 of these goblins on their football field, like running after them, and then I guess they threw rocks at them and scared them off. One of the funnier explanations, because I guess it did eventually make it to national news.
Oh, wow. There was nothing going on in 1955, was there?
No. Let's see if I can find this again. I just thought it was kind of funny. Okay. And then there was an explanation found in the Senate Republican memo published by the Senate GOP Policy Committee that the visitors were simply Democrats turned green with envy at the popularity of President Dwight Eisenhower.
What the fuck?
So even back in 1955, they see these little alien creatures, and this guy's like, nah, maybe they were just Democrats.
Oh, wow.
It really puts the current...
To the American political system.
It really puts it in perspective. It's always been this way.
To justify UFOs as the opposing political party being pissed.
How dare you?
That was fantastic.
Oh, my God.
So... some of the explanations people have had through the years are a lot of drinking, possibly hallucinating, elaborate hoax in order to get publicity, or maybe some charity.
There's hoax, and then there's blowing holes in your house.
Yeah.
Because what if it was a hoax and it didn't work? All you have is a bunch of holes in your house now.
Yeah, so it's most commonly explained as either an elaborate hoax or perhaps more charitably, the group, shocked by a meteor shower, in a state of panic and likely intoxicated, confused a pair of aggressive great horned owls with aliens.
Great horned owls. I know those owls, and they're decently sized.
Yeah.
But you're not going to confuse the floating animal with its wings down.
Right. And are those owls green?
Yeah.
Well, these weren't green either.
How did this owl?
They were like a gray metallic, and so with the right lighting, a gray owl's feathers could possibly be a little reflective, maybe.
In the darkness, it'll just look like a silhouette.
Yeah,
but it's also one of the best documented close encounters that we've ever had. A lot of people were there, saw it, and they seemed credible at the time. And we got sketches.
I just like the thought that you said that when the dad walked outside and like a hand came down. I like the idea that an owl just decided, I'm just going to brush this guy's head a little bit with my wing, just coming down, just a little touch with his wing feathers.
It was actually,
and they freaked the fuck out. And then I was like, whoa, fuck this, I'm out of here.
It was actually briefly investigated as part of Project Blue Book, and there is another witness report in Project Blue Book. They have a file from another guy who lived nearby, who claims to have gotten out of bed because he heard a noise and saw one of them in his hallway. And his sons apparently grabbed him and yanked him back to his bedroom and shot the thing. And then later he saw a glow outside his window. So he called for his son. His son ran in and shot out the window. There was another one of them. And then they didn't see him again. So it wasn't just this family that saw these on this night. We do know from Project Blue Book that there were actually other people in the area having similar experiences.
No, this is the same night?
Yeah.
Okay.
So theirs was just the largest.
Most known.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people saw it at once.
Mm-hmm.
So you said there was a meteor shower at that time? Or
well, they think maybe.
Okay. Well, I have a kind of an alternate theory, and it kind of ties back to an episode we've done before.
Yeah.
What if this was like a, I guess, psilocybin contamination in the food supply?
You've been watching too much Timcast.
No, actually I haven't.
Okay, so wait, what you're referring to is it's not actually psilocybin. It's a different chemical. That can actually grow in bread that's going bad. Mm-hmm. It's ergot.
Ergot, that's right.
But
yeah.
Well, I was thinking about that the other day because I don't know that we ever actually got to that portion of it in the dancing plague, that it actually was most likely that. Yeah. But it could be they were very poor. It could be some of their food was starting to go bad. And
so a combination of the food going bad and a meteor shower, lights they can't explain, triggering
some owls.
Although I gotta say, if this is a farming family, like my grandparents and their parents, they were all farmers. They know when
They
food
would know if their food is bad.
If your food is
They're
bad,
living self-sufficiently.
then they know, like, hey, we can't hold on to this for this long. They would have eaten it by that point.
And what happened with the dancing plague was that it was in the middle of a famine, so people were eating bad food knowingly.
Right, but I mean, they have like a community cookout, and one person's just a dumbass and fed everybody something that was bad.
But they didn't have a community cookout.
Do we know that there wasn't something with?
I don't know.
No,
John.
you don't.
Their friends came down through the Appalachians to come hang out with them. Maybe they just decided, you know what, we're going to just...
They walked all
There's
the way.
another more interesting route that we can go with this.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, so much so that there's an entire TV show dedicated to it. The Kentucky Goblins have actually been cited quite a bit throughout the years all over Kentucky. These creatures that look similar to this, there's a lot of sightings all over the state.
Well, before or after? Is it all after? Or
it may all be after,
before?
I don't know.
Okay.
Or this may just be the most well-known one.
Okay, so they probably, if it's after, I would assume that this made it known as the Kentucky Goblin. If it's before, it's just an incident.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, the idea is that they're living underground. These goblins are goblins. They're not aliens. They're not extraterrestrial in any way.
How does that explain the rainbow ship?
That's the weird part of it.
Pride Month.
Anyway, yeah, it was August though, so
I kind of assumed that they were from Starfinder, and they were the goblins from space.
Yes.
And they came down. That was my theory.
Man, I ran a Starfinder game once for like 2 sessions.
When did we
game.
play
It's
Starfinder?
a fun game.
Just me, you, and Kevin.
Isn't that Pathfinder?
No, it was Starfinder.
Oh,
It's Pathfinder in space.
Yeah,
There's literally
Okay.
nothing else to it.
yeah.
okay.
I mean, you got all the ship stuff though.
I mean, yeah, that's the in-space
Yeah, I love
part.
being an
cool.
ace pilot with my character and having nothing at all. Oh, I can land this. No,
So-
it means nothing. Just
So anyway,
brush it off.
there are people that think that within the massive cave systems under Kentucky, which is the real thing,
Yeah.
and all of the mines that are in the area,
Mm-hmm.
that there are just things we don't understand that live underground. There's like a whole civilization of these goblins. And there was a TV show that was on Amazon Prime called Hellier, and it was about a specific area of Kentucky where some sightings were reported. And that was the route they were investigating, is, are these things coming out of the ground? Is there any credibility to this? And they had some correspondence with somebody, because this was a paranormal investigator group. They do cryptids, ghosts, whatever. They had some correspondence with a guy who claimed to have also had a sort of thing where his house was like under siege by little goblin things, and like he was having to like fend them off his house at night. But he left the house, never gave his actual name or address, and they never heard from him again. So they just went there and started asking around and asking people. Like, they're just hanging out in a gas station parking lot asking anyone that comes by, you ever hear anything weird around here or seen anything weird? And it was just kind of a mixed bag. They'd get a lot of people who are like, no, not around here, never. But then they also would find some people who are like, oh yeah, I've seen UFOs and I've seen this. And then they found some guy who found some kind of prints that had not been able to be identified in the woods near a coal vein. And so they were looking into all this, but the whole thing was their investigation sort of just started to fall apart. So then they started trying to make things really significant out of like any little thing. Like, they'd be talking about some guy, and then that guy would call them, and they'd all be like, whoa.
You know, like a stage thing.
Well, I think they needed to do something, and they were kind of out of directions to go in their investigation. But it does seem that this incident wasn't a one-off, and that there may be something that's been either living in Kentucky or just coming to Kentucky quite a bit throughout the years.
Well, I mean, I don't think the owl angle is that far off, because isn't that the
Not at
owl what Mothman has contributed to?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, or no, that was a crane, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I can't remember. I'll have to look at Mothman
Let's
again.
see how big a great horned owl is.
We want to go to the Mothman Festival, so...
How many times on this podcast have we looked up, how big is this animal? Otters, coyotes,
It's mange.
snapping turtles.
It's an owl with mange.
Great horned owls.
That's what it is.
They're only about 3.2 pounds, a great horned owl.
Yeah, birds aren't heavy. Even the biggest birds are
even
still
at
pretty light.
3.2 pounds, that seems a bit too small for this to be a 3 or 4 foot tall thing.
When you started talking about like the mines and the cave system, and these things and how small they are in comparison to people and how their arms are longer than their legs, all I can remember, I don't remember what they're called, but if you ever played Gears of War, you know the little guys that would run at you in like huge packs?
The wretches?
Wretches, yeah. That's what it reminds me of, except they're not silver. Because they got real long front arms and stubby little arms. Yep. I don't remember what their faces look like because I usually killed them very quickly.
Yeah.
So, or you just started punching to conserve ammo.
I don't know what they look like either. I can picture everything past the neck.
Because they're running on all fours at you, and then you just mow them down like they're nothing.
Kind of like those things in Outriders too.
Yeah,
those little things.
Yeah, but I just, when you said, oh yeah, they're coming out of caves and mines, it's like all I can think of is wretches now, because they're not silver. I think they have the suit, but they're mostly like flesh colored.
Man, when's the last time you heard a person call another person a wretch? That just feels so insulting.
You know gospel music.
Yeah.
I'm going
to say Christian.
It's in
a lot of Christian music.
Amazing Grace.
Yes. It's in a very common gospel song.
Yeah. But like, really, like, there's a lot of insulting things you can call somebody. If you were just like, you're a wretch.
Yeah,
that just seems mean.
That's below the belt, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, if you grow up in a religious community, they have a lot of names for terrible people, but it's like you get into some other place and it's like, man, you guys are uncreative as shit. It's like I come from sophisticated insults. What is this? You're just calling me a dick. That's not creative. I don't care.
You're talking about people who are trying to insult someone while also keeping their language really clean. Yeah, you can get some really creative insults in there.
It's like,
bless your heart.
I knew some Catholics that would
that one. That's the meanest one. That's the meanest one.
It's like
you say something stupid.
They would
and
round on something. It's like they
heart.
wouldn't curse once, but they would just combine so many things. And you're like, is that worse? This sounds a lot worse than what you're saying.
Well, if it leaves you unable to respond, I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot worse.
It's like they have all their own. It's like, I wonder what getting insulted by an Amish person sounds like, and I bet you feel worse for it.
Nice.
But
because, I mean, the Amish are what? Mostly Danish? I think it's a lot of Dane culture. Dutch. Okay. Yeah, it's like they're Dutch, they're polite, and they're religious.
So, no. Did you watch that Amish Mafia?
That's a bunch of fake stuff.
I know.
I don't believe that.
I don't honestly know a whole...
I mean, I'm sure there's a crime syndicate because there's a crime syndicate for everything.
I don't know a whole lot about like the
Amish drug runners
flavor
seem
of
like
Amish religion.
Happen.
Like I know it's like some form of Protestant Christianity, but I'm not sure exactly on the specifics of how they differ from like
all I know is they're
else.
really good at raising barns.
Yeah, my grandpa would know.
Yeah,
His like best friend is Amish.
I just know I like their cheese.
Yeah, they do make really good baked goods too.
Yeah, and they get tax-free boots.
Yes, buy your boots tax-free from the Amish
for cheap.
I
drove
prices.
Back out there. They didn't have size 15 when I went.
Prices.
I told them, hey, I'll pay $150 for size 15s if you get them. And they went, okay, come back in a couple months. And I went, all right.
They made them.
I didn't go. I haven't gone back yet. That was only a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised because like the last time I was out there were some really big Amish dudes working there.
I need to go back out there and check it
like
out.
6'5", 6'6".
Hence why they were sold out.
Yeah, that's
Amish.
right.
Those are corn-fed Amish boys.
That's the only place I know of where you can buy a used pair of boots.
And they're not completely trashed.
Well, they clean them, but yeah, they'll just be broken in a bit. I've never bought some used boots, but like if you needed some boots and couldn't afford brand new ones, it's a nice option.
Mm-hmm. Especially with my foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brian's foot.
Size 15, double wide.
And then the other one's a 9.
John, I don't need this out there. My feet are the same size.
I just said it because you're like, my foot instead of my feet.
Oh, shut up.
Like, you got that one big one.
I am not Whitey Duvall here.
Oh, man. I am. You've seen my legs.
I know. It's funny.
My feet are the same size.
All right, so before we got distracted, what were you saying? Or are we in the discussion part?
Yeah, we're pretty much. What do you think about this? Like,
oh, come on, we haven't reached the what do you think yet.
Well, no, not like an ending. What do you think? Just like we're open for discussion. I told you the story.
Oh, well, one of those. Now, I like the thought of the underground instead of the extraterrestrial.
I do too.
Just because it's like, man, how thick is the mantle of Earth? It's like there could be entire societies down there that are looking up, going, "Wow, what a bunch of morons."
Yeah.
Or they could just be like Aztec kind of things going on. It's like they don't have technology; they're just living in the rocks, doing their own thing, eating giant centipedes and moles.
Well, I also think...
I mean, it could be the locusts down there for all I know.
Oh, underground. I thought you were talking about the Aztecs eating centipedes and moles, and I was like, why would you think that was what they were eating? I'm not trying to disparage the Aztec. I'm saying, like, an Aztec society underground, like, there's whole pyramids and, like, country-sized so they
things.
have, like, a moderately advanced Stone Age civilization, is what you're saying.
It's like, it could be even more advanced. Like,
or they have spaceships.
Yeah,
I like the spaceships bit. I'm going to be honest.
What if it's both? What if they've built these spaceships underground? They are terrestrial, but we see them when they come out.
They've outrun us in technology.
Yeah, they outran us.
That would be cool.
They didn't have to deal with seasons. So it accelerated them by 4 times. You know?
It's always warm.
It's always like the same
dark.
temperature.
Same temperature, same light level. You don't have to deal with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also was thinking, like,
what's a natural predator 100 miles underground?
They're communist, and so all of the people are miserable, but they've just been progressing at a rapid pace technologically.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jason. I know I cut you off
twice now, but I was thinking, like, the metallic skin.
I know.
I was thinking, like, the metallic skin, like, if they are drinking water that is cave runoff and going over all these minerals and stuff, they could be taking those minerals into their skin, and that's what gives them a metallic appearance.
Ooh. Or
so, you know, as the mines are being flushed out and then that water is getting down into their water supply.
That's pretty cool.
That's might be where the metallic look comes from. It's this little flecks of metal in their water supply.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I would think something other than metallic-y silver.
One of the theories.
I mean, if you ever see if somebody who works with silver for a long time, they turn blue.
Yeah, but someone blue in the moonlight.
Okay, yeah, you're right. They would look kind of silvery.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I've seen those people. Is that copper or what is it? What is it that turns people blue?
Silver.
Is it silver?
I think it's silver.
I thought it was mercury.
Well, mercury turns you dead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, mercury.
Well, so does any heavy metal.
Well, is it just certain heavy metals in general, not necessarily?
I know, like specifically, there's one for silver where it turns your skin blue if you work with it for a long, long time.
Right.
It was in that movie.
It was also in God of War.
Well, that movie with John Voight. 5 People You Meet in Heaven. Anybody ever see that?
Nope.
There's a guy in the movie who was like given a medication for like some kind of poisoning he got working in a factory, and it was like a silver-based medication, and it turned his skin blue. It's pretty cool.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, but there was a.
There you go. That's a guy that worked with silver for his life.
I've seen that guy. Yeah, I think that's actually the guy that was in the movie.
Wow, that's
too.
like straight blue.
Yeah,
Papa Smurf.
The Argyria, Argaia, blue skin from colloidal silver. So that's specifically silver.
Cool.
I could look up more, but I don't.
One theory is that they were monkeys in space suits, like for like a test flight, and they escaped. Or it was a test flight that crashed on the property. The monkeys survived, came out in space suits.
When did they
were trying to get into the
Luca
house
into space? When did the Russians launch Luca into space?
I don't know. Who cares?
Because that was the first organism in space.
Yeah,
I don't think we started sending monkeys up till like 56.
Well,
Also,
maybe this was one that was trying to go up but didn't make it up. 55.
I don't think.
You also have been an
They just let him
undocumented.
I'm gonna say with the early rockets that we had, they didn't come back with parachutes. Really, we launched those rockets to not come back.
First monkey in space was 1949. Suck it, Brian.
Fuck. Okay, never mind.
They've been sending monkeys to space for 6 years at this point.
Okay. I still don't think there's a chance that whatever the monkey survived it.
Oh, why did they dress them up like hot dogs?
I'm sure
No, it's not. No. It's a safety harness with a space for their
Obviously,
face.
the hot dog thing is a joke, but it looked like a hot dog.
Okay. No, I don't. It's like I get the monkey, maybe. I don't care. Because I don't think that any of those rockets with animals in them were meant really to come back. I mean, ask Luca. She's still drifting through space right now. That poor pupper. The Russians just launched her out, and now she's a frozen little hot dog.
Plus, I mean...
Unless she flew into the sun at this point. It's been 60, 70 years.
Who would mistake a monkey as floating?
A bunch of hill jacks.
Actually,
Yeah.
if it's a monkey in a spacesuit, but the boots are black and it's a dark night, it would look like just little diminished legs just floating there.
The boots are black because the re-entry didn't stop. And it burned off its legs. And it's just walking around on its hands.
I was wondering, as we're talking about that, why it is that people don't really eat monkey meat. And well, because there's a lot of monkeys, like especially like in India, they're everywhere. So like, why don't people just eat monkeys? But apparently,
Thailand is a fucking problem with monkeys. I think
apparently there's like some serious health risks to eating monkey meat,
even cooked.
Yeah, it's just not good for us. Maybe it's too close to human meat. Turn us into a Wendigo.
Sounds fun.
Yeah,
I could be a monkey Wendigo.
Well, because I was looking at that
co-
picture of that monkey, and I was like, wait a minute, monkeys are animals, and they're pretty meaty. Like, why are we not eating monkey steaks?
Yeah, why don't we eat gorillas?
Probably the
How
same
muscular
reason
is a
we don't.
gorilla?
Very.
It's probably too lean to taste good. It's probably really lean muscle.
Well, so is rabbit, but you can make that taste good.
Yeah, but that's
Deer.
more of like a poultry type meat than a rabbit.
Is it?
And I mean, venison's
that's
incredibly
lean, too.
lean, and we eat that all the time.
Well, are monkeys red meat or white meat?
Well, also, I mean, I think
I would assume
the
red.
things that we traditionally eat are based off of what can we easily kill that's not going to kill us back.
Yeah.
I have a gun. That monkey's not going to kill me.
Yeah, there's not an animal in the world we can't easily kill anymore.
Now, but I mean, our diets are based off of
culturally,
cultural
back then.
history.
But there are starving countries in this world that have a surplus of monkeys.
And
Well, that's how we found out about the health risks. Apparently, it became a problem in like some part of Africa
They
that
did
people were getting
actually
sick from
try
eating
that.
monkeys.
and did not work.
Is that when they found out that baboons rip the balls off of people when they fight? Because somebody tried to eat
I
it?
don't know how they learned that. Honey badgers do the same thing.
I would hope they didn't try to eat it alive to figure that out.
Well, how do you
Probably,
learn?
it wasn't eating alive. It was
How
probably
did
just trying to
somebody
attack
learn
it.
that we needed to kill the animal to eat it? Somebody tried to eat an
just gonna
animal
take a
alive
bite.
and it didn't go well.
You know how that happened? Somebody tried to bite a mammoth, and the mammoth was like, fuck off. Get out of here.
Could you bite through mammoth skin?
No.
Your teeth
would
wouldn't
break.
I'm
think
going to
so.
go with no. Yeah.
I don't think your teeth would break. I just wouldn't think you'd have the jaw strength to do it.
I think if you tried to bite into an elephant, your teeth would break before you could get through the hide.
Why? It's not a hard material.
It's not hard, but your jaw closing down on it would probably fracture your teeth because it's trying to close around at an angle.
I don't know, because I mean, I think people can grip things pretty tight with their jaw without breaking their teeth. I
think
just
you'd
don't
have
think
more
they'd have the
issue
strength
with
to get through it.
Yeah, the muscles being able to actually.
Because you ever seen that thing where people go on a zip line hanging by their teeth?
No.
It
That
was a
sounds
thing.
like
That sounds
absolutely
awful.
terrible
It was a
idea.
thing people did like way back in like the 40s or 50s. There's like some world records that were set by like what they
Longest
did is
zip line?
they set up a zip line and they had like a mouth guard that would just hang down and you'd bite onto the mouth guard and then go hold your whole body with your jaw.
What was your life like that was like a thing
that
you
was
wanted
the fun thing to do.
Yeah. Like you just bite this thing and hold on to. That's like
I'd try it.
what a dog would do.
I would try
Where
it.
it would latch onto the toy as it's moving away and just never and it'd be doing the spin thing.
Right, but I'd trust a dog not to let go. and
Yeah.
Die. So like,
It's like, oh, my jaw's, I'm not letting go. And like the dog will know, don't let go of the toy. Not because it's in the air, but because it's not getting the toy.
The funniest thing is I believe that the record for it is held by a woman.
Why is that funny?
Just has the strongest bite in the world. And it's just kind of intimidating.
Honestly, I'm going to say whoever, like, I want to know what your jaw looks like the muscles around your face if you have that record.
Oh, you ever see those people that buy those little like Jawser size things that you like the ball you put in your mouth and you just go?
Yeah, it makes your face widen out
No,
like a
it's so
freakish
weird.
amount because
Yeah.
it works all your jaws like back by the end of your jaw.
Yeah, there's this guy.
It works all your jaw. It works all your muscles by the end of your jaw, and it like protrude. You look like a me from the Wii character, and it's like boom at the back. It's like it doesn't match.
Yeah, it
all
looks
you have is
super
like a
weird.
triangle at the back of your jaw.
But I mean, it'd be good for people who have like incel chin, you know, like people who have like no jaw at all, and like their chin just kind of sticks out of their neck, and they're just real narrow coming down.
The chicken neck is what you...
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's what beards are for.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, I mean, even a beard can't fix that on some people. You know, so like if they strengthen up their jaw, they're like, all right, gonna look like a Chad, you know?
I'm just imagining.
He does not know all that like incel jaw thing.
I've seen the pictures, but it's like, I don't just work the muscles in your neck.
Well, no, I mean, sometimes genetically your jawbone just isn't very long, and so these guys have like a jaw that's like back here, and like they're, I don't know, it's just considered to be an unattractive feature.
You look like a chicken.
Yeah. And so that's why I think those things sell a lot, because men think, well, I need a big, strong jaw. And they think that increasing the muscle on their jaw will fix their bone structure.
I think it was just called chicken jaw for a long time.
Was it?
Because that's what I know it as. And it's like, oh, that dude's, he's got chicken neck. And he's like, yeah, you're doing this. And you can see where the jawline, it like kind of eats up into his neck. And it's like, oh,
it's awful.
Chicken jaw.
Well, anyway.
So I think the idea of it coming from underground is fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall sounds like a local hoax. Or
I think we need more locusts in our lives. I would like to believe this is real. Because if I'm going to get a chainsaw gun anytime soon, it's going to be if that happens.
I think it's...
Don't laugh. You know you want one too.
I don't want the circumstances that would cause me to get one.
All right.
No, nobody wants emergence day.
Here's the one
soon.
thing I didn't tell you guys.
Oh, great. There's more.
That kind of makes it a little fishy to me. So family...
They were all really drunk. Is that what you're about to tell us?
Family friend Billy Ray Taylor became friends with...
I thought Billy Ray Taylor was the dad.
No, Billy Ray Taylor was visiting. It was the Sutton family that lived there. Elmer.
Okay. Sorry.
So Billy Ray Taylor and Elmer Sutton became friends because they spent years working together in a traveling carnival.
Okay, yeah. So
what was Billy Sutton's act in the traveling carnival?
I have no idea.
Was he just a hand? Was he an attraction?
All it said was that they met working in a carnival.
Well, I'm going to say if that happened in 1955 and they met in a carnival, I would assume that was at least 10 years before that. So a traveling carnival in 1945.
The weirdest thing to me about it is the dispute over the nose. If you're making it up, why have an argument over whether or not it had a nose?
Well, because Billy Ray Taylor just thought the nose was a really cool element of the story, and everyone's like, dude, drop the nose. We're not doing the nose thing. And he's like, no, it has to have a cool nose. And they just wouldn't drop it.
That could be. Yeah, it could be the whole thing was his idea. It just happens to happen while he's down for a visit.
His favorite movie as a kid that he saw was Rudolph. He's like, dude, it's got a big nose with a big ball on the end and gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Billy, let's calm down a little bit.
I don't know. If
the group of us decided to design an alien for a hoax, there would be things we would all disagree about.
Yeah.
The size would probably be the first one.
Yeah, size. I don't like little aliens. I'm not fond of that. I want my aliens to be menacing.
Yeah, they're not as imposing if they're like 3 foot tall. I'll just kick you. Go away.
Yeah, unless little ones have to be like psychic. And that's their only thing.
That's scary though. Like you see a gray and it's 4 feet tall and it's got mind powers. You know, I don't care.
Unless it can make your head explode.
It's still
or
not scary.
It's just a gray.
An alien needs to be physically imposing.
You know what a physically imposing alien looks like? Looks like a fucking Tyranid from Warhammer.
Oh, fucking hell.
Okay, have fun, everybody.